Warning, this video will contain hot takes that I'm sure will trigger you to some extent, especially if you are a Cedar Point fanboy. So do yourselves a favor, sit back, relax, enjoy the video, and try not to clench your fists too hard, alright? Everything that will be stated in this video comes down to my preferences and my preferences alone. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion, so do not come at me for mine. Thank you and enjoy the video. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Austin from Derailed Coasters here, and today I'm bringing you a new series to the channel called Coaster Showdown. A lot of my friends know me for having some seriously hot takes, so I figured why not bring it to a series to my YouTube channel and see if some of you guys agree with me on some of them. So basically how this series is going to work is I'm going to pick two roller coasters that have a rivalry with each other, in my opinion, and I'm going to go over each roller coaster within 4 categories. Those 4 categories being layout, overall theme and setting, Reride Ability, and intensity. So for today's episode of Coaster Showdown, we're going to be featuring Iron Gwazi versus Steel Vengeance. Now this is a really controversial showdown. The people who are fans of Steel Vengeance are really fans of Steel Vengeance. And these are enthusiasts that go as far as saying that Steel Vengeance is the best roller coaster in the world without have even ridden anything that could possibly compete with it. Now I'm not saying that you personally haven't ridden anything that competes with it, but I personally know people who fit the category that I just described. So let's get started with our showdown here. Here's our first category, layout. Both Iron Gwazi and Steel Vengeance have really incredible layouts. Both layouts are very unique, but both layouts offer very different ride experiences. So when it comes to these two rides, it really comes down to preference, because I know a lot of people that prefer Steel Vengeance because it's just an airtime machine. But in this category, I'm going to give the layout point to Iron Gwazi. The reason being is I feel Iron Gwazi offers more bang for your buck in the layout, while of course Steel Vengeance offers the longer layout. Personally, I feel like there are spots of Steel Vengeance layout where it's really just unnecessary and it really doesn't need to be there, and I think it was just put there to extend the layout for the record. Of course, talking about that Bunny Hill finale going into the brake run, I think it's very repetitive and it's also not very comfortable, especially because I'm not a fan of RMC trains. I also find that Steel Vengeance overuses the 0G roll element, and I find it to be quite repetitive. I'm not necessarily complaining about the inversions being there in general, but rather I feel like Cedar Point could have done something more unique for those elements, especially the ones in the finale. However, I'm not knocking the 0G roll into the 0G stall sequence. I find that inversion sequence to be absolutely amazing. Iron Gwazi, in my opinion, has such great pacing that you just zip through all of the elements that you get to that brake run and you don't even know what happened to you.
What the fuck? Oh my god. What that was? That was ridiculous. Oh my god. Oh my god.
I also genuinely prefer the death roll over any inversion on Steel Vengeance. While admittedly Steel Vengeance does give way more airtime than Iron Gwazi does, you truly cannot deny Iron Gwazi for the airtime moments that it has, especially that outwards bank turn over the station. That is a yeet machine right there. I also mentioned in my last video that I didn't find Steel Vengeance to be all that intense, but we'll get to that later. Overall, I just prefer Iron Gwazi's layout over Steel Vengeance's. It's more transparent and unique in my opinion, and it offers more than just airtime. Category number 2, overall theme and setting. This category for me is a no-brainer. The point is going to Steel Vengeance. The Frontier Town section of Cedar Point is absolutely beautiful, and Steel Vengeance's theme fits right in. The lore to Steel Vengeance's theme is also incredible, and I think Cedar Point did a very good job on that. As for the setting, nobody can deny how amazing Steel Vengeance's views are. You get the awesome view of the lake from the top of the lift hill, and that alone just blows Iron Gwazi's setting out of the water. And personally, I'm not a huge fan of Iron Gwazi's theme either. I feel like it doesn't really make sense to go from exotic feline animals to a crocodile. And Iron Gwazi looks like it's just in a dirt yard, to be honest with you. While the rest of Busch Gardens Tampa is rather beautiful, I feel like they were a little bit lazy with some of the landscaping around Iron Gwazi. Category number 3, Reride Ability. When it comes to RMC coasters, I'm really not a huge fan of the restraint systems on those trains. Now, I don't know if it's just me that has this issue, but the way the seats are shaped and how the restraint is shaped, it really crushes my crotch area. And on most RMCs, I experience the restraint getting tighter throughout the ride, which makes it even more uncomfortable. So unfortunately for you Steel Vengeance fans, I have to give the point to Iron Gwazi here. This is an instance where I actually prefer the shorter layout over the longer layout because I could get more comfort out of Iron Gwazi than I can Steel Vengeance. Aside from that, I feel like RMC did a better job with Iron Gwazi's trains as well because I didn't really feel my restraint tightening throughout the ride when I went on it, so I got a lot more comfort out of riding Iron Gwazi. Simply because of this alone, Iron Gwazi steals the point for Reride Ability for me. I could lap that thing all day and probably not get uncomfortable on it. With Steel Vengeance, I can do about 2 rides and then I need a break. And last but not least, category number 4, intensity. So if you watched my last video talking about Kings Island, I had mentioned how I didn't find Steel Vengeance to be that intense. So since a lot of you guys got upset by that comment, I'm going to explain to you what I mean right now. When it comes down to intensity, I prefer overall intensity. And in my eyes, there are 2 forms of intensity: positive intensity and negative intensity. While Steel Vengeance offers a plethora of negative intensity, aka airtime, I found it to really lack in positive intensity. It didn't really shove me back into my seat the way that I was hoping it would. Obviously, Steel Vengeance holds the record for most airtime on any roller coaster in the planet. Generally, a lot of those airtime moments are rather quick, and I consider them more ejector pops rather than sustained ejector airtime, so that takes away from the negative intensity for me just a little bit. Iron Gwazi, on the other hand, I feel like that ride is complete. That offers every single form of intensity, and it does it absolutely astonishingly. So yes, I am giving the point to this category to Iron Gwazi. Even when it wasn't warmed up, Iron Gwazi threw me out of my seat in every which way. It yeeted me up and down, it whipped me side to side, and it slammed me back down into my seat. And as I stated before, this comes down to my preferences. When it really comes down to it, I just think Iron Gwazi is the more intense ride because it offers more in every category rather than just the airtime category like Steel Vengeance does. And overall, I just feel like Iron Gwazi comes with more of a variety than Steel Vengeance does. And even though it is shorter than Steel Vengeance, the ride is paced unbelievably so well, and yet it still doesn't feel like a short ride. So in the end, what it comes down to for me is I feel like Iron Gwazi is giving me more of what I'm looking for in a ride experience than Steel Vengeance is. Final point of this video that I want to make is both rides are absolutely incredible, and I think they're both absolutely on the top of RMC's food chain. But for me, I just think Iron Gwazi comes out on top. Do you guys like this video concept, and would you like me to continue the series? If so, comment down below 2 coasters that you would like to see featured in an episode. Also, did you guys agree with me on the winning ride? Let me know. Thank you for watching this video, guys. I truly hope you enjoyed it, and I really hope that we can continue this series on. This is Austin from Derailed Coasters, and remember, you can make this a great day or not. The choice is yours. Ride a roller coaster, stay hydrated, and have a great day.